I go by the name of John Sway, and you are now listening to In My Own Words. So this is my inaugural podcast episode of this particular podcast. And today, the topic of the day is fear. So from a dictionary, fear is the noun version of it is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. The verb is be afraid of someone or something as likely to be dangerous, painful, or threatening. So the words that stand out to me in that are likely to cause pain. So you got pain, a threat, and dangerous. So being that this is my first episode ever, I've just overcome that fear of getting it in. And what my fear is number one, my voice. I don't know if people are going to gravitate to it, which is something that I'll find out after this, but I didn't know. And I still don't know if people are going to gravitate to my voice, as well as the other side of it is, am I doing this at the right time? Because in your mind, it's good to think of you have all of these different ideas. And when you have a dream, it just forms in your mind to where you're like, oh, okay, this is how that dream is going to happen. It's going to happen exactly like this. But where the problem comes in is that doubt of, okay, this is what I see in my mind. And since I didn't do it at this time in the day, now it's not going to live up to that dream. For me, it was like, okay, I need to do this early, like 6 a.m., like the Breakfast Club. And if I don't do it at exactly that time, and if I don't broadcast it and do all of that at exactly that time, then each time that I would try to do it before, or that it would be fresh on my mind, I'd be like, nah, I can't do that right now because I missed that time mark. And by missing that time mark, it's not going to be as great as I want it to be, or it's not going to be as impactful as I would like it to be. And so pretty much today, I've finally made the decision to get past that, because at this point, I really don't care. I just want to make it happen, whether it's great and it's something monumental, or whether it's not as big. I just want to get it done at this point. And not just to get it done as, okay, check that box off, did it, wasn't great, and now, at least I tried. Nah, I'm trying to give my best effort to get it done, number one, but also to get in a groove. So going back to fear. Again, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. So dangerous, pain, or a threat. It was just a small example in my life that directly correlates to this, because this is the thing that I was fearful of doing. But look at yourselves today. That's what I want to challenge you to do. Look at yourselves and the things that you fear. I think sometimes, even relating it back to this podcast, we judge ourselves in so many different ways to where we're almost dangerous to ourselves, because we have a threat of, man, I could possibly be terrible. But you do know you also have a threat, if you want to call it that, of possibly being great, of possibly surpassing all of those bad things that come up in your mind whenever you have aspirations of doing something great. But then that thing it kind of blocks you, and it says, well, remember this about yourself, and remember that about yourself. And if anybody's going to judge you, it should be yourself, which is me, because I've known you for all of these years. Who else knows you better? Right? But again, thinking about fear, going back to that word dangerous, with anything that you fear, of course, there's dangers involved, but do not be a danger to yourself by hindering yourself from facing that head on, and by going on with whatever you aspire to do beyond that fear of, these people may not accept me. Because even with the threat of people shunning you away and possibly rejecting you, is that really that bad? Is it really going to last for that long? And also, do those people really matter in your life? They probably don't. They probably won't even remember you after this, unless you keep on going and you prove them wrong. So, fear, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. So let's tackle that word pain. This is something that I learned in college. I'm not going to really describe how I learned it, but pain. Pain is only temporary, but pride is forever. So again, the thing about pain is that pain has an expiration date. I'm sure that anybody that is listening to this right now can attest to the fact that they've gone through painful situations in life, and when they chose to get through it, and maybe they had to put their head down to get through it. Maybe every day wasn't easy, but after they got to that other side, they found out that pain had an expiration date. It has an expiration date, meaning that it's going to expire sooner or later, but there is a day that is set in stone when that very thing is going to end. It's going to cease. It can't live anymore. Think about that when you think about pain. So going back to the things that you fear, think about the pain that may come with it. And just be encouraged enough to know that that pain has an expiration date. It's not going to last. Those growing pains, going back to our goals and our dreams and everything that we want to turn into reality. And that's something that I'm working on doing right now with conquering these fears. But as we go along with that and we endure the pain that comes along with it, for instance, I'm doing this new venture and now I'm losing friends because they don't believe in me, and maybe they weren't my friends after all, or maybe we're just going through a phase. But going through the pain of learning that people that you thought were with you aren't really with you, or aren't really as tight as you thought they were, that pain of losing people, it's a part of that process, so to speak. So with that said, embrace it, because again, that pain that you feel, no matter how deep it cuts, it has an expiration date. It's going to heal sooner than later. And even if it takes a long time to heal, guess what? It's going to heal. So again, fear, an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. So think about those things that you think are dangerous, that are like roadblocks on the way to whatever dream that you have, or whatever goals that you have that you want for yourself. Think about those things that you think are dangerous, or that pose a danger to you, psychologically, or even somewhat physically, in the realm of things that you can see, that you imagine. Think about those things that cause you pain, and think about those things that may threaten certain things in your life. All of those things are only temporary, and they can only keep you down if you let it. So again, the challenge that I have for you, get past these fears that you have that are stopping you from being great, no matter what it is. Stand up, look it in the face, and even when the odds are against you, even when it seems like you're out of the time frame to change that, even when it seems like, it's just not going to make sense right now, if you really want to go after that, sometimes you got to do some unconventional things, some things that you never would have thought that you would have done in a million years. Now, what I'm not asking you to do is anything crazy that's out of your character, that isn't ethical or anything like that because that might give you a different result that you don't want. But what I am saying is think out of the box and fight against those things that are holding you down from just getting started and doing whatever you would like to do and in becoming whoever you would like to be. So that is my challenge for you today. There's going to be more coming in the future. I'm not going to put out any dates. I'm just going to pop up with it and keep on conquering my fears as you conquer yours. So with that said, let's get it done.